Hi Pisces, how are you? I hope you all are doing well in this Cancer season. Water season's great for some, not great for others, which I'm sure is true for all, right? But I hope you all are doing well during this Cancer season. I think you should be. My brother's a Pisces, and he was expressing, I think, this whole quarantine situation and the fact that because we didn't do it right the first time, now we're running the risk of having to do it all over again, and probably for a longer period of time, is what's frustrating him. That if we only just would have listened the first time, right? Yeah, and then in that, there's a sense of restlessness, that this Knight of Wands coming out as your general sort of initial energy, I am definitely getting a vibe that there is or has been a feeling of being restless, of, what's next? Where do we go from here? And wanting to get out, wanting to make the moves, having all of this creativity sort of stored up that, you can't do anything with, right? This could also indicate a fire sign, a Leo, Sag, or Aries in your midst, or somebody that has a lot of fiery energy, strong fire placements, who is coming in very quickly, injecting a sense of excitement, right? I don't want to say leaving very quickly, because we'll see as the reading expands what happens. But this could also definitely represent, somebody coming in quickly, coming in hot. Yeah, Page of Cups right here. So for some of you, this Knight of Wands definitely can be and is, a love potential, a love offer. However, Page of Pages for me feel definitely a bit more like in the here and now, rather than in, 10 or 5 or 10 years from now, right? So if you're looking for something that has a bit more longevity, then I wouldn't get too serious about this Knight of Wands. If you are looking for something to take the edge off in the moment, sure, why not? And I think as a water sign, the fieriness, the spitfire sort of quickness of fire energy can be very, very attractive, right? Six of Wands, right? That this person offers they can, maybe a long term, but they do offer a sense of escape, right? With the Six of Swords. They do offer a way out. Maybe they are a gateway from leaving one period of your life into entering another. Sometimes we have those relationships after, maybe we've been in a long-term relationship. We're single for a little bit. We get involved with somebody, and that somebody offers a gateway into the next phase of our love life, but they're not really meant to be there with us in the next phase of our love life. So maybe this person is somebody who, allows you to really finally move on, or really finally get over that last hump of emotional hang up from a past lover or relationship. But maybe they're not meant to be there to stay. They're just there to push your boat out into calmer waters so that you can actually then just move on with your life. Yeah, Five of Swords coming up. That's the past that you're trying to get away from, right? The Five of Swords, feeling as though, I think even though in the end, you may have felt that you won, or you may have felt that you ended up getting the upper hand, you had to, I think in a lot of instances, sort of stoop to a level that you did not want to, in order to get what you wanted. Or, this is definitely could be another person here, and you are one of these two people who, you felt as though the way in which something previously ended was done so in a way that robbed you and everybody else involved of their integrity. And that this Six of Swords, this Knight of Wands, affords you an opportunity to walk away from or to leave behind that hurt that happened. You are talking today. Eight of Swords. Yeah, you still feel pretty wrapped up and tied up in the old beliefs, in the old patterns, right? That Pisces, 12th house, Neptune kind of energy is also very much about how one is a prisoner to themselves, right? A prisoner to the mind, a prisoner to them, a prisoner to their subconscious. Queen of Pentacles. I think that this Knight of Wands is also, King of Pentacles. Well, let's see. Knight of Swords. There's a lot of people. Now I'm beginning to see quite a few people showing up. I think this Knight of Wands is sort of the center of your focus and attention right now. We have a Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and a Knight of Swords as well. And a Page of Cups. And a Page of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Hermit. Sun is back out. Okay, Pisces, and we're back. I had to eat something. And I also took the time to clarify some of the cards that are showing up in your reading. So far we have the Knight of Wands, who I believe to be you, or it could be another person coming in who feels a bit rambunctious, feels definitely more on the creative side, wanting to sort of get out, feeling restless. And that came forth with the Page of Cups, Six of Wands, Six of Swords, Five of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. And so if this is a romantic opportunity, that this opportunity being a gateway through which you can leave behind old or painful ways of being, old or painful relationship patterns, old or painful memories, that this person offers you a breath of fresh air, essentially, in your love department. Next up, we have the Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Page of Wands. Queen of Pentacles clarified by the Seven of Wands. And so essentially what I'm also feeling here with the Queen of Wands, and I initially sort of felt like these were all different people, but I wasn't really sure on that. I think the Knight of Swords might be a different person, but the Queen of Pentacles, as it's showing up as another sort of iteration of you for this month with the Seven of Wands, is this need and this sort of intentional place of looking at oneself, right? As we can see, sorry, the glare is so bright. The Queen of Wands is looking very clearly at this pentacle in her lap and is observing, all that she's worth, all she's been through to get this coin, how she wants to use this coin, where, she's expressing gratitude for all that is encompassed in this possession right here, right? And so I feel as though in terms of you showing up as this iteration of the Queen of Pentacles. With the Seven of Wands, that what you are really sort of taking note of in this moment and really reflecting on is how hard you've had to work to stay on top, right? Is how hard you've had to work to move through, to move past, to get over, right? These moments, these hard, difficult moments that have left you feeling depleted, that have left you feeling sort of hopeless about moving forward in love and moving forward in life, really, right? And that as we move into this King of Pentacles, that, you know, there also could be an earth sign in your midst. I would say a Capricorn, because the world here representing Saturn, right? And Saturn in its most positive and most hopeful and most joyful representation, right? The world is, you know, what happens when we listen to the lessons of Saturn and do as Saturn asks of us, and we get to reap the benefits and gain the power and gain the rewards that Saturn has to offer us, right? And so I feel as though this King of Pentacles who's showing up, who might actually be an attachment to this Page of Cups, seeing as though it's in the same column as the King of Pentacles. However, I feel as though with the Eight of Swords being in the way, that you may not be able to really see them at first, that you may be stuck in the past in some way, that you may still be reeling from these swords, that you may still be sort of operating under the assumption that this is what people do, right? This is how they behave. This is how they act when love is presented and opportunities of love and romance, you know, are present. And so I think initially this Page of Cups shows up. You may not really see them for who they truly are, but who they truly are is, in fact, this King of Pentacles, right? Who's showing up as somebody being clarified by the world, who has done the work, who has done, who has, you know, done quite a bit of healing through their own hard lessons, who has done quite a bit of learning and really respecting and honoring the lessons that Saturn has to offer them. And so I feel as though this King of Pentacles is quite compatible, right, with where you find yourself in this moment. And that even as the Queen of Pentacles, you're looking at all that you've accomplished, what you've done, it still feels kind of bittersweet that what you're reflecting on is the Seven of Wands, right? But it's okay, right? It's okay that eventually this will start to feel like this, right? That there is an ease, right? That this is what happens when we are in the midst of completing the cycle. And this is what happens when we complete the cycle. Now we have this Knight of Swords and this Page of Wands coming forth. This Page of Wands, for some reason, I'm feeling as though I want you to be careful about this Page of Wands. They're clarified by the Strength card. And so whatever message they have to bring forth, it's a very strong message. It's a message that might elicit and bring forth a strong reaction, I would say. You know, if this Knight of Wands is in fact this Page of Wands, maybe this Knight of Wands is sort of feeling a bit threatened by this King of Pentacles, because I'm seeing, you know, the way in which the cards are laid out is now we have this Knight of Swords with clarified by the Ten of Wands, and it's right underneath, right? This Knight of Wands. So I'm feeling as though this Knight of Wands, right, initially kind of started out as, you know, if this is another love interest, right? I'm feeling as though the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands are two different people. And I feel as though the Knight of Wands may have started out sort of with this innocent kind of, innocent sort of courting, approaching you, right? And I think despite how attractive this energy may have felt, I believe you have found yourself feeling as though feeling more inclined to be with the self, and that you're not really looking at this Knight of Wands. You're not really too focused on what they're doing. They're attractive, yes, and they're interesting, yes, and they're all the things, but I also find you being very apprehensive, right? I see this Knight of Swords here. So I feel as though this Knight of Wands becomes this Knight of Swords, right? And what initially was a fun, lighthearted sort of way of approaching you, or way of getting at you or trying to talk to you, now becomes this sort of a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more like they're trying to communicate with you more. They're trying to they're really getting a little bit pushy, because they're clarified here by the 10 of Wands. So there's also a feeling of this energy, right? This this very sort of persistent and pushy energy, right? Because these knights that are from, the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are very pushy energy, right? It's very fun and exciting, but it can also become kind of fucking obnoxious when that's not what you're trying to do or get with, right? And so this energy begins to feel kind of like a burden. And this energy begins to feel kind of like they're really overcompensating. And also, this Knight of Swords seems to really be gunning for that King of Pentacles, who is formidable, right? Who, I wouldn't worry too much about this energy. This energy definitely sees you and is in your midst, but I think they too have done so much work and are so focused on, continuing to better themselves and continuing to really honor and appreciate who they've become through all that they've had to overcome, right? That they see you, but they're also not super pressed about needing you to be with them in this moment, or needing you to come forth. And I feel like this Knight of Swords definitely feels threatened by them, right? It could be an air sign or a fire sign. Somebody who's very used to getting what they want, somebody who thought that they had you kind of in the bag, right? I think this Knight of Wands is also looking here at this Eight of Swords. So I think they felt as though they might have seen you in a state of vulnerability and in a state of you were more susceptible, right, to potentially needing or wanting to feel the validation or wanting to feel wanted, and try to kind of take advantage of that. And instead, this is actually where you are and what you are and where you're at right now, right? And so I think that they misread, very much misread, right? And anybody who approaches you because they see you like this and see that you're an easy target is not somebody that you at all want to life up with. So I think this Knight of Swords feels kind of threatened by the King of Pentacles, not kind of, definitely is. And I feel as though when they begin to communicate, it really comes on strong. But remember, they're not showing up. The page is not showing up as a King of Wands or even as an Emperor, or even, they're showing up as a page. So the message, what they're saying is strong. What they're saying has great oomph and meaning behind it. What are they doing? Right? If they're showing up only in the form of knights, that's great and it's romantic and it's fun, but you're a queen. You're showing up as a queen, right? They keep showing up as either knights or as pages. They're not really showing up in any capacity that is really something that you can take seriously. I don't think the knights are anything that you can take seriously this month. And I think the pages have a strong game. I think this Page of Wands has a strong game. There's, whatever they're saying, it has the power to really kind of almost, make you sit back in your seat a little bit. I wouldn't go for it. So let's get the final guidance and messages for Pisces for July 2020. Ace of Swords. So yeah, I think that you, in the midst of all of this, are going to say you are going to come forth and speak your truth. You are going to come forth and say, you know, this is powerful and strong, but it's no match for this. And so I think you become very clear about telling certain people. I think first you get clarity about what is true for you, what is truth for you. I think you get clarity about, you know, if you're confused about what partner to go through. I think you get clarity around who this King of Pentacles really is in your midst, right? I think you get clear about that. I think this Eight of Swords, you know, you take this sword, right? And you're able to cut through your bandages. You're able to cut through the blindfold that you're wearing here in this Eight of Swords. And you get clarity around this person. You get clarity around what this person is really, truly saying. Like, again, wands are great. Fire energy is great. It's also very filled with passion. It's romance. It's very wordy. But where we want to be at with communication is I want to see swords. Where's the truth? Where are you giving me the facts? Where are you laying out what actually matters? And so I think by the end of the month, you get very clear about what you need to say to certain people, and you get very clear about who it is you need to be giving your time and attention to. So Pisces, that is your reading for July 2020. I love you all very much, and I will see you for Leo season. Bye.